Shania, where did you get this?
Greetings everyone, welcome to our English Literature podcast, the last one of the year. I am your host Olivia Dakalo and I'm with my partner.
My name is Dakalo, guys.
So in this podcast we are going to dissect one of the films that challenges the status quo, and in today's episode we are going to be delving into Stephen Frears' thriller or crime film called Dirty Pretty Things. Dirty Pretty Things is a British thriller or crime film that was directed by Stephen Frears and written by Stephen Knight. The film was released on December 13th of 2002. This film follows two protagonists, a Nigerian doctor Okwe and a Turkish Muslim asylum seeker or refugee Sine, who are navigating the harsh realities of being undocumented migrants in the United Kingdom. Therefore, the film delves into the themes of migration, immigration, exploitation, and bodily commodification. In this podcast, we are going to argue that the film Dirty Pretty Things exposes the brutal interplay between globalization and border existence by depicting the marginalized bodies as domains for exploitation and resistance. The Dirty Pretty Things plays out an entertaining sequence of events in the lives of a few characters as they struggle to maintain their existence as refugees and migrant or undocumented migrants in London. Through this film, Stephen Frears shows the aspects of the real world that we have never seen, especially the side of London, which is the globalized city. So now I'm going to ask you, what do you think after watching the film and after dissecting and analyzing the film? What do you think about this film? Do you think Frears did an eloquent job by trying to show the world the hidden side of London, the hidden side of globalized cities, not only the United Kingdom, but the globalized cities that are thriving on undocumented migrants, cheap labor, exploitation, and survival for those? What do you think about the film as a whole?
I can say that he succeeded because as it is titled the Dirty Pretty Things, the city as London is seen with great opportunities where people risk their life and go there to meet their
dreams.
Yes, but then the hidden side, which is the underbelly, when people go there, they discover that now they have to do illegal things to get passports, to get documents in order to make survival. Yeah. Also, when we look at where most sin happens in the Baltic Hotel. The Baltic Hotel shows a place that is beautiful, where some immigrants come there and sleep, where else on the other side people sell their bodies there.
Thank you. And this is what we are going to delve into as we are moving on towards the end of the podcast, where now we are dissecting the juxtapose or the paradox of the title of the film, Dirty Pretty Things. Let us begin by explaining the plot, summarizing the plot, and explaining the rising action of the whole film. To begin with, the film follows two migrants who are navigating life through the harsh realities they face as undocumented migrants. We know that we have a character called Ogwe, a Nigerian doctor, also known in real life as Chiwetel Ejiofor, and a Turkish Muslim asylum seeker or refugee, Sine, also known in real life as Audrey Titao. We know that the film centers around both characters that are undocumented workers in London. Okwe being a temporary doctor, a doctor who fled from her home country because he was falsely accused for murdering or killing his wife. So we understand that Dr. Okwe has multiple jobs, such as being a taxi driver, a hotel receptionist, and also a makeshift doctor, meaning that he is a temporary doctor helping people here and there. And we have a character also known as Sine, who is a Turkish and Muslim asylum seeker or refugee. Despite her rights of being an asylum seeker in the United Kingdom, she comes to face the harsh realities of being a migrant in the United Kingdom, as she faces multiple jobs in order for survival, working at a sweatshop and ending up selling her own hair for survival. This is where now we get the gist, or we get the overview of what the story is going to be about. These roles that they have as like the multiple jobs exposes the globalization and the invisible cheap labor that is forced upon undocumented migrants, emphasizing the global cities like London thrive on migrant labor without providing them legal protection.
Things start to get worse when Juliet, the sex worker, in a hotel discovers that there is a blocked toilet.
Yes.
She goes and alerts Okwe. So now Okwe decides to go and fix the toilet, only to discover a human kidney inside the toilet. Okwe now is beginning to ask himself, why is there a kidney inside the toilet? Okwe now finds out also that the hotel manager named Juan is involved in illegal business.
Position where now Dr. Okwe finds out that there is a unlawful acquisition of human organs that is directed by the hotel manager. That is where now we see that there is exploitation. They are using the human body or the human domain, the human organs, as a way for their own survival. They manipulate undocumented migrants at their worst scenarios for them to know that they're trying to survive by using their own body. So this is where now we see the body as what? As a currency in the film.
There's a scene where we see a immigrant wounded so badly,
yes,
and then Okwe decides to look what's going on,
to help.
Yes.
As we know that Okwe is a Nigerian doctor,
yes, and he discovers that this guy is like doesn't have papers, so he was so scared to go to the hospital or call the police of what's going on since he doesn't have papers. So Okwe helps his because since he doesn't have papers, he helps that guy. He helps that guy with the help of his friend this other guy who was working at the mortuary. He's called Joyi. Yes, he works at the hospital mortuary.
Yes.
So that's where Okwe was finding some of the medication to help his fellow people.
Right.
As we move on, in the insights from Emily Davis' article, the connection between the bodies and borders. Davis in this article emphasizes how borders and also the lives of people are closely connected, and also shows how globalization impacts our self-knowledge, as in like you no longer know who you are.
Yes.
Within the country. The characters' challenges show how greater social issues of not having documents, belonging in a country, are only appreciated for their hard work. Yes, I can say also their bodies are seen as objects, whereby they are not seen as like
literal humans.
Yes, they are just appreciated for their hard work.
So in addition, we are going to explain the term of globalization. Globalization is a term that describes or reveals the growing process of global economies, cultures, and population that become interconnected, influenced by the border trade or technology. And as we are going to link our film to Emily Davis' article, the intimacies of globalization bodies and border on screen. So we know that according to Emily Davis, globalization is a system that produces familiar violence upon those who migrate for survival. Therefore, through the lens of this film, we depict violence migrants face for survival, the violence that they face in order for them to survive. And this is where now we get to dissect how.
As we move on, John asking Okwe to join the illegal business, which is organ trading. Okwe disagrees.
We know that the hotel manager finds out that Dr. Okwe is actually a Nigerian doctor and he has, some, knowledge in operation and whatever. That is when the hotel manager, Juan, decides to influence or manipulate Dr. Okwe in joining the human organ trafficking that is happening in the hotel. Upon realizing what is going on, that is when now we understand that Dr. Okwe denies to be part of that syndicate, that acquisition of the human organs that is unlawful.
And also Sine agrees to trade her kidney. Juan demands to sleep with her, and to avoid pregnancy, Juliet, the sex worker, offers Sine a morning after pill. This shows that Davis' framework highlights how the dynamics of exploitations are not merely
about the literal
organ exchange, but the unspoken sexual labor.
We are going to delve more into the paradox that lies between the film's title, Dirty Pretty Things.
Beyond allegorizing the title of the film, we get a sense of paradox. The film juxtaposes the pretty appearance of the jobs, being a taxi worker, being a cleaner, being a hotel receptionist, being a doctor. But also, it shows the exploitation that comes with those appearance of those jobs. We get to understand that through the lens of the film, Stephen Frears wanted to elaborate or show people more on the unseen part of the globalized cities, where now you work as a cleaner. However, that is not merely being a cleaner, but it comes with a lot of things. You are being underpaid, it's cheap labor, you get asked to do certain things that you didn't sign up to do.
Okay, so to conclude our podcast for today, we have finally come to a conclusion that Dirty Pretty Things powerfully unpacked the violent entanglement of globalization, bordered violence, and bodily commodification, highlighting the marginalized body as part of the microcosm for exploitation and a vessel for subversive. Through the journey of Dr. Okwe, a Nigerian doctor, and also Sine, we experience a full comprehension of the harsh realities that are faced by undocumented migrants living in globalized cities or the United Kingdom. With crossing a border and being a migrant in globalized cities, this is where now Emily Davis' article helps us to elaborate further on the intersection of bodily commodification and exploitation and intimate violence that come with crossing a border and also being an undocumented migrant in globalized cities. What are your final remarks on this whole film as a whole? What do you think? Do you think we need films like this, especially as in the modern contemporary world where now we have to raise awareness on certain things that are happening in as part of globalization?
Yes, I can say that we need movies like this because we get to know what migrants, undocumented migrants
go through
in order for survival. We get to know the underbellies of other countries, and we are aware.
So that is that from us, you guys. Thank you for watching our last podcast of the year, and we're excited that you guys will get to see this episode, watch this episode, and enjoy. Thank you guys for joining us today. My name is Olivia Dakalo.
And my name is Dakalo.
Thank you guys for watching, and bye.